From April, I'm planning to incorporate some veil dancing into my classes, and for that you'll need a veil. You don't necessarily have to order a veil from a shop in order to have something you can use for class, but you can. I'm going to walk you through some of my veils and give you my opinions on the pros and cons of some different fabrics, and I'll also suggest a couple of things you might have around your house that you could use for a veil if you don't want to buy some fabric or a pre-made veil right away. So let's see what we have. Your easiest option is find a scarf. This is just a pashmina found in my house. It's wool, it's kind of heavy, so a little bit of an arm workout, but it works perfectly fine. The key thing with any scarf you use in your house is if you hold it in front of you and you stretch your arms straight, you need to not run out of fabric. It doesn't really matter how wide it is up and down. When you hold it like this, you just need to have something long enough that you can do this with it, so that when you swoosh it around, it doesn't go flying out of one of your hands. Here's another wrap. This is some beautiful Egyptian tulle batelli fabric. This is wire that's been hammered into tulle in geometric patterns. I love this fabric, but it's a little heavy to dance with as an actual veil. This is something I'd actually wear probably to a formal event as a wrap. And sometimes I will wear it over my costume when I'm hanging out at a restaurant between sets. But works perfectly fine as a practice veil. The key thing, as before, is that it's long enough. This was a really lucky find. This is my first veil. It's not actually a veil. It's a curtain valance from Bed Bath & Beyond. I didn't have any money to buy a veil. Looked around my room and found this. So this is actually a really typical veil. It's synthetic chiffon. It's fairly cheap, but you can see through it nicely. It's got a bit of sparkle, which I like. And it has a pretty good float when it moves. It's not the most mesmerizing fabric ever, but it's pretty nice, and I actually still use this one for shows occasionally. Most veils that you'll see will be something like that, synthetic chiffon, and that's a great option. Silk chiffon is going to be way more expensive, more easily damaged, but it will move so beautifully. This is like a stupidly wide piece of silk chiffon because I just didn't want to cut any of it. I love it. This is a piece of fabric that I was given, and I made it into a veil. So you can maybe see in the video, this just has a little bit more float when it moves. It's a little bit extra nice, and it feels so delicious on your skin. And finally, my standard option is I love silk veils. This one's from Zara Zouk. Silk is going to be more opaque than chiffon, slightly different look when you move it around, but I love how it's the lightest veil option, and when you floof it up in the air, it comes down so slowly. So I really love that effect. Below the video in the comment box, I'll give you some more information about veils, about how to make your own if you'd like to go that route. And I hope to be veil dancing with you in April.